Hey, Spaz. Spaz? Oh, no. He's not here. Nah. What is going on, everyone? Welcome into the Oregon Ducks channel, right here on the Voice of College Football. It is just me tonight, apparently. I am unable to get a hold of Spaz. So we will see how that all works out in the next few days. Hopefully, all of you, though, are doing very, very well tonight. As we are here to simply have a very formal, informal also, rant about Oregon athletics. So, yeah. Rip the band-aid off. The truth hurts. And there's just no sugarcoating certain things. Just is what it is. So I've got a bunch of stuff I gotta go through. So this is gonna take me a quick second by myself here. Go through a lot of these little tabs I have. But um also check out last week's video. Should Oregon start a rivalry with Notre Dame? I will be writing about that this week on the Voice of College Football.com, which you all want to go check out right down here in the banner. That's where you're going to get a lot of good stories from some of the best hosts and writers. So definitely go check out the vocfb.com. So once again, welcome in though. We're going to be here for a little bit, just kind of having a rant during the off season, just like all other football shows. You're out here doing work, trying to make it happen, trying to get your shit together and look at your team as a whole in the past. And one thing we were talking about before and are still talking about is Oregon football's recruiting woes. Are they going to come to an end finally? Because yikes. I'm optimistic. I'm very positive. But when it comes to the 2026 class, Oregon started out strong. And then it just kind of dipped. You got a few decommitments. Then with places like USC and Washington, notably rivals, in other words. And you literally just lost a commit not that long ago in Richard Wesley, who everyone knows the famous pool video, which I was never a huge fan of, but recruits do what recruits do, and it was his idea. I have to believe that. There's no way Oregon media was like, this would be cool. I don't think, but who knows? But Richard Wesley decommitted, and then if you're an Oregon fan and you're on Twitter, oh God, you had to deal with that backlash. That smoke all day long about that. It's not been a pretty week or two if you're an Oregon fan and you pay attention to recruiting. But are the woes going to be done now? Because in the summertime is when things really start to ramp up. You get a lot of commitments from these uncommitted, highly touted prospects that are still left on the board. Some come later, obviously, like August, even September, but a lot come in June and July. And despite all the bad news, Oregon has a great weekend coming up this week. So not only with the whole Richard Wesley decommitment, which, by the way, if anyone pays attention to any of these things, it doesn't seem like it was Richard Wesley that actually wanted to decommit. It seemed like his parents were more surprised that he committed, which sounds to me like his parents are just shopping. They're trying to find the bag, What's up, Jackson? I have no idea. in a funeral home somewhere or a retirement home. Not sure. He has not texted me back. But yeah, as to Richard Wesley, I think it was more his parents kind of. It sounded like they got blindsided a little bit by his commitment. So, but shockingly, right after a week and a half or whatever of him decommitting, he's back on campus this weekend again, along with number one linebacker in the country, Tyler Atkinson. So, as well as cornerback Brandon Arrington. So you have all these 5 stars, 4 or 5 stars, whatever ranking system you want to go off of, or recruiting system, or whatever you look at. They have all these high 4 or 5 stars coming back this weekend, including Richard Wesley. So I think it's pretty good. It just seemed like shopping by his family, to be honest. So we're going to see how this weekend goes. And then, of course, you still have Iheanacho. Oh, my God. I'm going to butcher that name every single time I say it for a while. The 5-star out of Maryland offensive lineman. Oregon's in the mix. So we're waiting on that. As well as apparently, I apologize, I forgot to mention him. This weekend also, you have safety Joey O'Brien visiting this weekend, who is committing in June. So it's a big weekend for Oregon recruiting wise. Now the difference is, can you land these guys and then keep them? I think that's the big thing. Excuse me. When you because when you talk recruiting, everyone can look at it, and Oregon was all excited too back in February or March, like, cool, we're doing great. It fell off. You've watched USC. Yes, this is USC brand time. Yes. USC. Oh, we're number one. You have 30 freaking commits almost, or something like that. I don't have the number right in front of me. You have the most in the country by a lot. Of course, you're going to be number one. If the second ranked team behind you has 10 commits and you have 30, of course, you're going to be number one. So there you go. Recruiting will always be strange, odd, and confusing, and we just have to deal with it. It is the world we live in, and there we go. And Spaz text me. Hold on. I apologize. Let me check on my co-host, make sure he's healthy. Okay. I'm sure he's going to say I'm busy. He's not even home. He's on vacation. Could have told me that last week. This is what I do around here. So, okay. Anyways, Spaz could have told me that last week, but hey, it is what it is. We'll deal with it. We already went over the Oregon Notre Dame rivalry. I gotta rip the Band-Aid off, because one of the worst things that we've had to deal with this whole off season, and it just ended last week, really. It's hard to say. It's a 50-50 conversation in my head. Why is it so hard to be an Oregon fan? Because they can't win anything in the postseason. This is partially why I don't watch any other sport outside of football. Because literally, I feel like if I watch something, no matter how good they're doing, I jinx them. I don't even have to be watching it live. I can just be watching like score updates. They can be on fire. I watch, they lose. Yes, that's a little self blame there, but at the same time, why? You just had. I mean, it's not in everything. Don't worry. I have to appreciate, of course, all of the. Why is everything reloading? All my tabs are reloading here. You have to appreciate, of course, like the men's and women's outdoor track and field. Yes, great season. Big Ten champs. Oregon baseball, a share of the Big Ten title with UCLA. Softball also shared the title. I'm pretty sure, right? Let me double check here. I'm pretty sure they did. Oh, well, thank you, Troy. Oh, flattering old me here. Oh. Um, yeah, softball shared a title. Women's golf won the Big Ten title, in their first season. So it's not like it's all bad news, right? But when they come to the postseason, everything falls apart. I almost dropped an F bomb there, but I refrained. So again, just deal with it. Look, Oregon football. Let's start with the football. Here we go. Best season in team history, 13-0. First time ever, 13-0. The only other time they had done anything close to that was 12-0, losing to Auburn in the national title game in 2010. Great season. What do? Get smacked around for the first half of football in the Rose Bowl. Second half, not so bad, but Ohio State didn't have to do a whole lot in the second half, so maybe that was why. But still, got smacked around. Couldn't even win one game. Not to their fault necessarily. That's a rant for a different day about the seeding thing and their change of seeding for this year. That's a whole different topic. Men's baseball. Let's look at the men's baseball. What the hell is happening? You go out, win a share of the Big Ten title, host a regional with the number one seed, and lose twice to teams that you should not lose to. You should beat. Why? Poor game planning and execution. Spaz is on vacation apparently, and he didn't tell me, so he's fired. No, I'm kidding. He's not. I should. And don't even get me started. Men's baseball, look. Men's baseball, I think most people even watching this, there was so many people online going, the call against with the umpire calling the runner safe, and then they did like a 7-minute review and then ejected him for aggressively attacking the catcher. Terrible call. Absolutely terrible. I've watched it 100 times. I'm like, yeah, what is he supposed to do? He was trying to slide and pull up at the same time. Like, what is he supposed to do? But you should never be in the position where that decides the game. That's my philosophy in life about sports, especially. If one bad call late in the game decides it, you should not have, as a better team, put yourself in that position. And there's no way that they should have been in that position against Utah Valley. So you lose one of your better players, ejected for the next game also. Then what do you do the next day at home? As the number one seed, you lose again to Cal Poly. Yeah. Yeah. No words can explain it. Absolutely none. Women's softball. I'm going to be nice to women's softball. You know what? Women's softball, hell of a year. Hell of a year. Losing to Oklahoma that way, that hurt. That hurt. I'm going to be nice to women's softball. Don't get me started on men's golf. Or, I don't know, not golf. Golf is okay. Tennis. I don't watch tennis, but I looked up the stat. Woof. Woof. This is postseason. Point is, Oregon cannot seem to get over that hump of achieving certain things. Now, track and field, that's a different story. I don't think anyone will dispute that. Track and field, indoor, outdoor, whatever, fine. Or Oregon's good. Other sports, they just cannot put it together. I don't know what that final hurdle is. It's like you've been right there and then cannot perform. And it's not like you're not spending money to do it or be competitive. I know Trojans here, Troy's here. They're like, oh yeah, Nike money, Nike money. Oregon didn't even spend that much, actually, in comparison to some teams. I just saw the numbers earlier. What was it? I don't know if anyone else has seen their team's average NIL value. Oregon's is only about $148,000. Like per player, basically, of the average NIL. I don't know what that actually computes to nationally, but that doesn't seem that high for the Nike money. If you were thinking Nike money, you would be thinking probably about 300 or close to it. 148. Not that high. Like I would have to look at USC. That's a good point. I'm going to pull that up. Let me go here. Let me see if I can pull, at least according to what someone like On3 says or thinks. Let me see here. Let me see. Let me see here. On3. Let me see it. Yeah. All right, there we go. According to On3, for instance, for 2026, with obviously way more recruits, USC is actually spending almost $20,000 more per recruit in NIL than Oregon. So I don't think it's Nike money. I guess it could be selective. Let's put it that way. Obviously, that's an average too, but still, Oregon's not like spending $1 million a player or something like that. That's not what's happening. I think what we're seeing is the landscape just continue to evolve and change. NIL kind of balance the playing field, I guess you could say in some ways. So it's not just, oh, we're in Alabama now. Oh, we're, Ohio State or Michigan or, Penn State, even like, oh, here's all this heritage and this winning tradition. Then it was like, oh, here's money. And now all the teams are going, oh, yeah, we have money too, by the way. So you're kind of intermixing all of those scenarios. Money, winning, and tradition to a degree. So Yes, Oregon has some tradition. You watch your mouths out there. I know you know who I'm talking about. I'm watching you. So Trojan fight. I know we talked about this last week. If he's still here. If they're still here. I don't want to misgender anyone. It's just not who I am. That went off the rails. I don't know. I give up. Until Oregon actually wins something big in either at least baseball or something, or basketball especially. Every time basketball goes, which basketball is up and down the season, but every time basketball gets a chance, they're making a run. They still find a way to just absolutely screw it up. Absolutely screw it up. So until some main sport like basketball, well, basketball does technically have one national title, the original, you know. They do technically have that one. I really don't know if Oregon actually claims that one though. They should. Other teams claim shit from the 30s and 40s. Why not? Give us something, right? But until they do it, every year it's just going to be kind of the same old nonsense on repeat. Yay, have a great year. Win a conference. Cool. Win a big bowl game. But you didn't achieve what you wanted to because you fell short for this or this reason. Which can we just not admit to? Last year, I think most of us agree the seeding was really kind of screwed. So how screwed up is it then to this next year for them to just do straight seeding? Like, hey, one year we saw how bad it was. Sorry, we're gonna fix it this next year. Uh, kill me, absolutely kill me. Just like no one could have told them, hey, maybe we shouldn't do it this way to begin with. Should have done it the other way that they're trying to go to now. Could have made sense. No, and that's not gonna say Oregon would have won a title because of that. Relax. I'm not saying that at all. No seeding or playoff is perfect. I think most people would agree. The AP, the voter thing, that was stupid for a long, even though it went on for a long time. Shared national titles, like everyone just gets to claim half a freaking title when they never play each other. No. The BCS, yes, it was good. Has pros and cons. You couldn't mess up though. Let's put it that way. I mean, you had to like win everything. The 14 playoff, was it perfect? Again, no. Pretty subjective. But that's what people wanted. 12 team last year, seeding issue. Got it. Maybe the buys or the automatic buys, the auto buys. Yes, probably an issue. But then 1 year in to go and immediately change it, I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, I don't think they learn that fast, the people in charge. I think they're just trying to cover their ass for screwing it up more than anything. So I don't know. I'm just a sports fan who sits here, talks on the internet once or twice a week, and tries to make sense of life as an Oregon fan. Because as good as it may seem, which by all means I get, there are what 100 probably 105, 110 other teams in FBS that would easily change places for the success, but still come so close so many times and not be able to get over it, to get screwed out of different things over the years. 2001, for instance, you're just at some point, you're like, why do I do this to myself every year, or I have to watch every game, report on it? That is the state of being an Oregon fan. That's what I should have called the show. The state of the address as an Oregon fan. That's what I should have called it. You come up with these ideas later on while you're talking about things, especially when you're having to do it by yourself because your co-host went on vacation and didn't tell you. Everyone DM Spaz on Discord and tell him he's an idiot. I'd say don't do that, but actually that'd be really funny. Yeah, I don't see 4 was good. I do think 8 would have been better. Going to 12 seemed really kind of weird to go right to 12. Like little expansions were seeming to like test it for like 3 or 4 years, see what happens, see how it goes. Fine. 16. Oh, in what format do you like better, Troy? Is it the 4-4-2-1-2-1? Whatever the hell the formats are that they've proposed. All they're doing is literally, this is what people said about the 12 team. And in some ways, they were right. They said it watered down the regular season. But if you go to 16 and you do this like 4-4, 2-2, 1-1, or whatever the hell the format is for 16, but the Big Ten and SEC got 4 each, what does it matter? You could be like Oregon, say Oregon this last year, 13-0, Big Ten champs. And you may still have to play, again, 2 teams you already beat. Again. Why? Maybe 3 if everything lined up right. So it doesn't make any sense. Same with the SEC. Why? It just, I don't. The people that are in charge of the NCAA or the playoff committee and doing all the bargaining, I get it's Petiti and Sankey mostly that are really leveraging things, but these people are idiots. I know it's all about money. I know. I wish I had a dollar bill little thing to put up there, but I don't. I'll get one. Don't worry. Even on this channel, I'll do it. But yeah, I don't. We don't have to worry about this next year, or this upcoming season, rather. Sorry. The next year, yeah. I'm not looking for this last season, and we only went to the Rose Bowl. This last season felt like one of the longest seasons I've ever experienced. And I've already done 3 seasons of doing post games. So it wasn't like that was new. This felt like the longest season ever for some reason. Can you imagine having to add in like 3 or 4 more games? What happened to the whole, we can't play more, player safety? This is why we have all these rules in place so they can't hit hard or targeting and all that crap. I mean, and don't give me everyone gets 2 bye weeks. Cool, everyone gets 2 bye weeks. It's not just a week 0 thing anymore. But the byes are not even. They're not equally laid out. Some teams have it spread out, massively. Last year, Oregon went 8 straight weeks without a bye. No one else did. This year, you got teams doing 7 weeks. And then this year, you have teams getting paid out, like nicely spaced, where it's like 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, or where it's a little more balanced. But it's just, well, that too. Everyone has a lot more better medical insurance now, don't it? That is true. I mean, that is true. There is no complaining about that. Uh, I mean, but this is kind of the thing. As soon as NIL started and there was no regulation or cap, basically, it just became, as I think everyone saw it becoming immediately, an absolute shit show of how much will you spend? And that's kind of what has happened. And then you've seen, like famously, let's just look at Michigan, Bryce Underwood, all in LSU. Oh, some famous donor came in and said, you know what? I'm not going to name his name because I don't want Mark to get sued on this network. He came in and said, you know what? I'm going to give you some money into your NIL. And Bryce Underwood flipped faster than you can believe. That's college football. That's college football these days. Not all across the board. Relax. There are players that really do still want to play for certain teams. I think that is still a thing. But there are the players who go for money. Nico, for instance. Well, that didn't end so well for him. I think he took a huge pay cut ending up at UCLA. He did not play, him and his family, his team, whatever, they did not play that right. Bryce Underwood, they played it correctly. But there are players that really want to play for certain teams. I think that is still a thing. You're a fan of a team as a kid, they give you an offer, they're in good standing. I think that is still a legitimate thing. But now with money, yes, the families, I think, get involved to go, hey, you can go here, though, and make this much in a couple of years. Just deal with it. I think that happens. Then now you're going to have more family influence in the sense of that. Because, I mean, hey, yeah, again, if you can afford to play a player, they're going to come play for you. But it's not all bad, but it did screw up the more the traditions of obviously of recruiting. Recruiting is still important, but NIL is like just a huge other factor of it. It's like a third now of the factor of it. I think it's recruiting, potentially, being able to be conditioned and everything to go to the NFL, as well as NIL. I think there's those three now. So it's not just the two now. Now you have this whole other third. And that's money. And I'm not faulting players for making money. Hey, if I could do it, shit, I would do it. I'm too old, fragile, broken, and a sad Duck fan. Sad Duck fan. You think about that. You know what? That makes me fun. That's a funny story too. I'm going to tell this, and maybe we'll wrap it a little earlier tonight, just because no one wants to look at this face or listen to me rant for an hour by myself. You've already had to endure that enough. In 2013, maybe it was late 2012, early 2013. I had gotten out of the military and I was started working in the oil field. And around early 2013, I was living in Fort Worth, Texas, and I thought about doing a walk-on to the TCU football program. I thought about using my GI Bill, going just doing enough classes, but doing a walk-on football, and then kind of like test it out. like 4 years earlier, I had literally thrown out my back in the military. It was just one of those things like they were like, yeah, it was going to happen. It was going to happen. I literally picked up a bottle cap off the floor and threw it on my back. That's how they were like, there was no option. I started working out a little bit. And after about 5, 6 weeks of heavily working out to kind of like think about really maybe doing it, I was like, yeah, hell no. Kidding me? Yeah, I'm only 24, 25, but I would take like 2 hits and be dead. Uh, the day I almost thought about walking onto the TCU football program. Oh, even as a Duck fan, just because TCU was right there. That's the only reason. It was like 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away from me. Oh, God. I would have died. And in Texas heat? Oh, hell. Absolutely not. Ugh. Disgusting. Hot as hell here in Houston right now. Jesus. Hot and humid. Hot and humid. Don't get excited, Troy. All right. Well, what we'll do is because my co-host sucks and doesn't even tell me he's going on vacation. Because again, he sucks. I will remind everyone once again, I am not the ad or publicizer, the promoter. I don't get, that's not my job. But if you want some great news articles and information about your team, the network, or conferences, once again, in the banner, please do check out VOCFB, the voice of college football.com for news, information, updates, everything on your team, conferences, and some of your favorite riders. It's a great source of information. I'm on there. I will be coming back on there. Just been dealing with I haven't been able to type much, so I will be putting out some new stuff here coming up soon. And if I haven't said it already, and I forget to always start with this. If you haven't, please do consider hitting the like, sharing this video out on your socials, even if you're not an Oregon fan, and making sure to subscribe so you know when we're going live, as we will be. I'm not sure if we'll be here next week or we're going to take a week off. Because Spaz wasn't here this week, I'm going to punish him and we will have to be here next week to talk about something. Guarantee it. I thought I was getting a week off, but Spaz screwed that up. Everyone thanks Spaz. Make sure to send him messages in the Discord. There you go. There it is. That's how easy it is to find. And as Jackson can do, he probably can. I can do it too. It'll just take me a second to pull it up on the side screen. You don't want to miss, though, this Sunday night, 2025 hot takes for the college football season. Because what else do we have to talk about? So let's make some outlandish claims this Sunday night on College Football After Dark, right over there on the main channel. I don't have that clip. Well, I could get it. Hold on, let me see. I'm kidding. I'm not going to upload it. I do have it somewhere, probably in one of my folders. But not on this channel, Troy. Not on this channel. There you go, Jack. Hot takes. Just think about it. There will be some outlandish claims from some of the fan bases on this Sunday night show. Right there at 10:35 p.m. Eastern, 7:35 p.m. Pacific. I was told specifically to stop referencing Central Time. So that's 10:35 p.m. Eastern. So do check out that. Again, hit like and share and subscribe to this channel. It helps out a lot. And I will probably see you next week with Spaz, maybe, if he's back from vacation. I don't even know where he is, so I don't know what type of disease he could potentially catch. We'll have to wait and find out. Again, hit the notification. More of the reasons so you can find out what Spaz catches. or at least on Sunday night. Have a great night, everyone. And as always, go Ducks. Quack.